Are blanks like another joker? No. Blanks are played not as a wild card. Like, you could never go up on top of your rack and say, okay, gosh, I have a terrible hand over here, but say, okay, I'm trying to make a pung, 3 of a kind. I'm trying to make 3 of a kind of this 7 dot, and I have a joker and I have a blank. You can't do that. So you can never play up with your blanks on top of your rack. You can never win Mahjong by exposing a blank. So if you're playing with blanks, they are not used as a joker. Instead, they're used as a recovery tool. You're using these to recover a dead tile. Maybe it's a tile that someone discarded early in the game and you just simply didn't have the tiles needed to expose it. So if I were making this pung of 7 dots and someone had discarded a 7 dot and I only had 1 and I didn't have that joker, I obviously wouldn't have been able to call for that 7 dot in the early part of the game because I wouldn't have been able to expose it on my rack. Remember, if you call for a tile, you must then expose that section of your hand, meaning in this case, it would be 3 tiles of that 7 dot, either with jokers or with the tiles. You would need to expose that. And if you don't have what you need to expose it, you can't call the tile. So that tile would have then been dead. I wasn't able to call it. I could then use my blank to place it out there and take the discarded 7 dot and have that, and I would just put it in my rack. If you're using a blank, there's a couple of things to remember. You don't have to do it on your turn. You may do it at any time, and you may do it sneakily. So most people, let's say we're using it for this 7 dot recovery, most people would wait until everybody's kind of looking at their own rack or thinking or they're chatting, and you're just gonna kind of come out here like that. You're gonna try to be as sneaky with it as possible because you don't want to let other players know what it is that you're picking up with that blank, because then it's just forecasting what hand you're trying to build, especially if you already have exposures. So that would be one example. If I'm trying to create a pung or a kong or a quint and I missed a discard earlier in the game. Maybe I pivoted hands and now I realize, oh shoot, that tile that went out, I need it for my pivot line. I'm gonna use a blank to recover it. Another instance would be this one here. So my hand, in this instance, calls for a pair of flowers. Now, as you know, in American Mahjong, you cannot call to complete a single or a pair unless it's your last tile to Mahjong. If I need a pair of flowers and someone discards it, but it's not my last tile to Mahjong, and I definitely need to make that pair, I'm going to sneakily throw my blank and pick up that flower tile, and I'm gonna put it in my rack. I now have completed my pair using that blank